Have you ever asked yourself, what if I didn't have a comfort zone? Or maybe, what if I learned how to get outside of it and not suffer from its influence? Many people dream about a life with no limits, but they forget that they set them themselves. It turns out that they overcomplicate it. So, isn't it strange? Isn't it better to do otherwise? These are very good questions, and today we'll discuss it. So, I have a life story for you and 3 tips on it. When I was approximately 20 years old, I decided to learn how to perform on a public. Before that, I was afraid of the stage. It was like this. When I appeared in front of a lot of people, my voice started to disappear and my face started to turn red. Even when I was confident in myself and my knowledge, I wasn't able to convey it to the audience, and I wanted to change it. I managed with this problem because of 2 things: visualization of success and practice. I started by creating an image of me successfully performing in front of big audiences. I felt that my every word matters and my opinion is respected. It was very important to experience. Think about it. If people come to an event when you perform, doesn't mean something? I think yes. And when I caught it, when I synchronized with it, I started to act. Time has come. I took part in any event when I had an opportunity to talk publicly, and there were a lot of them. I joined a student council and lectured for freshmen 2-3 times a week. I made presentations about economy and management on all the conferences possible, but the essence wasn't in reporting. It was important for me to get used to the fact that hundreds of eyes, they are directed on me, listening to every my word. And at some point I caught myself on the idea that I actually enjoy the scene. It's a pleasure for me now. It's not about the fact that I didn't have a discomfort anymore. Not only. Actually, I enjoyed it. But how? I believe the combination of right attitude and a lot of practice, they created a new reality. I started to associate myself with big businessmen who came here to share their experience, and it helped. Confidence was felt in both behavior and body. But would it be possible to do the same without leaving the comfort zone? Absolutely not. The fact that I overcame my fears helped me very much in achieving my goals. For me, it was a game changer in terms of defeating my limits. From that moment, everything started to work in a new way. I realized that by limiting ourselves, we don't help at all. In fact, we just interfere with our desires. Running away from fears, we get lost in routine and lack of development, so it's better to forget about the limits at all. I learned to live outside my comfort zone, and it was amazing. Here is where all the opportunities come up. Remember, by defeating your comfort zone, you defeat the main stopping factor for you. And now I want to share 3 tips from my personal experience on how to do this. So let's start. First tip: always put long-term results over the quick pleasure. If you set serious goals, if you want to manage your life, not vice versa, it's crucially important to understand. Think about it. What drives people with almost any form of physical addiction? The desire of pleasure. And they want to get it right here and right now through alcohol, drugs, extra food. But once they get their dose of endorphin, they're back again and they want more. It's like consuming the low-quality food that fills you only for the next half an hour. Such people, they don't look in the long term. This desire is due to this very moment. Enjoy here and now, and it's not important what will be in the future. Do you think drug addicts can plan their life for long or even middle term? Hardly. I really hope that you don't use anything from the above, but you and I, we also have something from such people. Sticking to the phone or getting distracted when you have to stay concentrated. This is the same example of momentary pleasures. Forgetting about the process that leads to serious results, you allow yourself to relax here and now. The problem is that many abuse it and stay at the one place, spending hours in computer games or something like that. They don't move forward. When I realized this, I started to look at things differently and constantly asking myself about the nature of my desires. In the end, I control them, not they control me. And I became more cruel to myself, you know? It changed a lot. Feeling a desire to get as far as possible from the stage, I understood, in 1 hour I'll regret it. When I want to just finish all the struggles and go to the bed, I simply understood that tomorrow I won't be proud of myself. It was the skill to prioritize long-term achievements that changed my life, and it definitely can change yours. If I hadn't changed my attitude towards this, today I would be just an overgrown schoolboy who has achieved nothing. I believe this particular realization, it affected me so much. Listen, Next 10 years, even 1 year, is much more important than how you'll feel in next 10 minutes. This is the way out of your comfort zone. I don't want to do this, but I need it in sake of the future. What about you? What frames do you thinking? Second tip, start treating yourself as an adult. To become stronger, you have to conquer your old self and open up for something new. Without this, you won't have any growth. Understand that you are not longer 5 years old. Now is the time to take the responsibility for your life in your hands. What separates the adult from the child? The adult controls his reality, not vice versa. Stop believing that you will live forever and you will have enough time for everything. It's not true. If you lose yourself, time will pass very quickly, and it will be much more difficult to control your life. To get out of your comfort zone, the first thing you have to understand, you are not longer the child. Think strategically. What would you say looking at your life from the side? Would you praise yourself? If not so, what's wrong? After all, this is the very specific indicator, so you seem to disagree with yourself. I remember how I broke my inner child. I was reading Stephen Covey and I realized I'm the only person who is responsible for my life. I was 14 years old, and until that moment I was shifting all the responsibility of my actions to other people. But for some reason I liked this particular model when you are responsible for everything happening in your life. Even then I realized that control is better, much better than the blind following to circumstances, and I opened for something new. As in other examples, that time I didn't understand all the significance of that particular moment. And in fact, it was huge. To get out of your comfort zone, you need to have an incentive and know exactly why you are doing this. You have to get this, courage. Can an irresponsible person do this? It's unlikely. Maybe he will just not want to change. Going beyond the limits of momentary pleasure, it's a long-term game, and now at the moment you won't feel the result. You need to think strategically in order to understand why to sacrifice today's pleasure in the sake of tomorrow. And no child will give up the toy for something incomprehensible in the future. But you will. Don't remain the hostage of your way of thinking. Change it and develop. It should work in this way, not vice versa. The tip number 3, just understand and feel. You will win only in the case when you win over yourself. Every growth comes with an effort and almost always with discomfort, so that's okay basically. To reach a new level, you have to work hard and deserve the victory. This path is not so easy, but it's rewardable. On the way out of your comfort zone, you'll have a desire just to drop everything and relax. It's similar to the person who decides to stop swimming to the shore and become the food for fishes. Although he could say, if you choose the path of the person who creates himself, be prepared for trials and struggles with it all. Consider your life as a huge quest when you have to find yourself and develop your character. There is an endless amount of tasks and reward around you, so can you get maximum out of them? You need to find all your weaknesses and fear and then mercilessly hit in their essence. Each new achievement will make you stronger and bring you closer to the goal. The main idea here is not to stop. A lot of things will try to hold you back and give up on your way. Be firm, develop your own line in which you will cope with this, and just go ahead. Get ready for difficult decisions and tough periods when you want to give up and drop everything. If you do this, consider your loss, so there is not an option. Always think about you in 10 years. Where will you be? The comfort zone can't harm those who boldly accept all the trials along the way. It just simply doesn't exist for them. Therefore, winning yourself, you always get to the next level, and previous difficulties, they just lose their weight. These were 3 tips for those who want to get out of the comfort zone and never stuck in it again. As you already understood, everything depends purely on you. You can build everything if you act properly. I really hope that you will change your life following my instructions. Or better, follow yourself. Take my thoughts as something that helped me personally, and you have your own way with your decisions. Guys, thank you so much for watching my videos. I highly appreciate it, So if you like this video, give me your like. If you don't, give me your dislike. Leave your comment below, follow my channel, and see you tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much again.